If you want to help support our channel, head over to Patreon and become a VIP member today.
Welcome to a very special episode of Guns and Radio. I mean, what's the date today?
Well, we're taping this in advance, obviously. We're not live, so I'm not sure. I think it's early April when this is going to air.
Yeah, I think we're like right at the start, near the start of it, maybe a bit after.
Shall we say there's tomfoolery going on today?
That is true. I mean, if we are in early April, that means we're actually good news. We're a couple weeks away from WrestleMania, so yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, we switched places today because we're geese.
Yeah, it's a silly goose time, as we say. Geese, I guess. Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah, see, I'm not actually Chris Caputo if this is the first time you ever watched it.
Yeah, come on. Does this face look like a Dustin to you? Come on.
You do very much look like a Christopher, I will say.
That's true.
Even though it's Christian.
Close enough. I don't really care. People always call me by my last name anyway. It's like, oh, my guys. They're like, oh, Caputo, what's going on?
I think that's a guy's thing.
That pretty much is.
Because all my buddies do the same thing. Yo, Birch,
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've ever, unless there's like two of the same like people with the first name in my crew, are like, okay, one of you is going to go by your last name, one of you is going by your first name. That's how it is. Fuck you.
Yeah. Now, at one point, I hung out with these two dudes that were twins, and we just called them Twin. And when we would go, yo, twin, they just knew who we were talking to. I don't know.
Thing one, thing two. That's it. Or they could be, it would be like, Matrix Twin 1, like the two twins with the dreads from the Matrix movies.
Yeah. Well, we picked a good song for today because today we're going to be listening to Knuckleheads by Izzy Stradlin. While we're acting like a couple of crazy knuckleheads, we're going to take you back to college and we're going to chug some brews with you. Sort of. You'll see here.
Some sort of very college-esque challenge here.
Yeah, and that ought to be nice and fun. All of that and much more coming up today, only right here on the Guns and Radio podcast.
Listen, motherfuckers, to the show that should be heard. Download on your smartphone the show that you deserve. Streaming fucking bullshit, that's what we are. Content full of madness, isn't that absurd?
Oh, here we are. We're just gonna stay like this the whole episode.
Why not? I'm getting used to it. I don't know.
Does
this side make my face look better?
I will say it's throwing me off because when you talk, I look over to where I'm used to seeing you, and I see me, and then I have to like look back.
I mean, we have been doing this for like well over 300 and almost 30 episodes. So,
this is actually 340.
Oh, close. I was close. We're getting there. I don't know. I think we've lost count like every week somehow. We're like, wait, what episode is this? Like, we've been doing this long. We're what, 6 years into this show now?
Yeah. Well, we taped, we had 6 in the middle for spring break.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the live show. And then, there's all kinds of great things we've had. And we do want to take a quick moment and say thank you to Rick Dunsford for stepping in for us during spring break. And we had, it was kind of a little brutal of a schedule because of the times that we had that Rick could make himself available.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it that way. And then work for me as well.
Yeah.
So the schedule was a little wild, but we got it done. And Rick stepped in and he helped you boys out just for you guys. So thank you to Rick for doing that for us. And you can catch it if you didn't watch it and you want to hear us talk about some other bands besides Guns N' Roses. Go back in the archives and look at Spring Break where we covered some really fun music videos there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And we got some knuckleheaded things planned today. We're going to do our normal stuff. We got a little news coming up. We've got some things to vote on and all that kind of fun stuff. And plus we've got a little challenge here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we should do first? Should we do the challenge?
I don't know. This challenge sounds very enticing. It could this could change the whole dichotomy of the rest of what's going to happen here tonight here on the show. So I think we should let's swerve. Let's throw a little swerve in here instead of going for the basic stuff. We gotta like emphasize the rock draft and everything. Let's throw in a challenge here. Let's see if this can change the whole dichotomy of tonight's episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think it possibly could. Okay, so let us explain what we're going to be doing here. So, when you're in college and you're having your frat parties and everything like that, you're always chugging beer different ways. Well, it's been a little while, at least for me, since I was in college. Chris, has been maybe a year or two.
Yeah, bro, it's been at least like 7 now. I've been
Oh,
in college since I was like in my early 20s, like 22 probably. I was done with that stuff.
well, we're both out of practice then.
Yeah, it's very much. I don't even know what the clubs are anymore. So,
So we're going to try to see if you boys still got it with the chug challenge that we have here. So now on this wheel, we have various different kinds of chugs, and there's 2 parts. Oh, Lord, that's my mother. She's already knowing something's up. There's 2 parts to this challenge, okay? So first, we're going to spin the wheel and see what type of chug we get. We're each going to do 3 of these, and then we've got different beverages to chug. I've got mine all listed in little pieces of paper in a shoe. Well,
yeah, I just found the nearest hat, so I said screw it.
Yeah, I got some sweet tea. I got Dr. Pepper.
You're going Australian style with the shoe there.
Yeah. I might even chug it out of a shoe. I don't know. Is shoe chug one of the things?
Well, that's a shoey. I don't know. That's not on the thing. I don't see here. So
Do a shoey.
do a shoey. Do a shoey for the boys. You can.
I think. Thank God. I would have hated to have had to pour beer in that fucking shoe.
God, yeah, ew. I mean, I don't know. I guess Australia is just like that one country that like everyone has a foot fetish for some reason.
Well, let's talk about the different chugs that we've got, and I'll kind of describe them for those of you decent people out there that may not know what these are. First off, we've got the traditional chug, which is where you just chug, you chug. That's the one you see your uncles doing at B-dubs most of the time. Then we've got the Teen Wolf. Have you heard of this one?
I have not heard of this one, no.
That's where you bite the side of the can and then you open it up to let the air in and then you chug through the hole you just bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's more of a frat bro kind of chug. I've never been good at it, but
is that the one where you stick the key in and just whatever?
Yeah, that is a shotgun. That's on the list also. Yeah, where you like poke a hole and then you cap it open. That's a shotgun. There's the snorkel, and that's why I had you bring a straw. That's where you take the beer and then you put a straw in and you tilt the straw to the side and you hold it up so the straw lets air in while you chug.
Okay.
Makes it go down faster. And then there's the beer bong, which is your classic funnel and the pipe. Everybody knows that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the one we're both hoping neither one of us land on, the old butt chug.
Oh, goodness. The old Jackass special.
Yeah. And, that is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. I think everybody knows what that is. And finally, we have a waterfall, and that's where you pour it up and, you let the water fall into your mouth. So, Chris, I'll tell you what. Let's flip for it. Heads or tails?
You know me. I like my heads.
Heads it is. Chris, you get to go first. Let's spin the wheel and see what you get.
Traditional chug. All right.
All right. Chris gets the traditional chug. So now here, as soon as the thingy's done loading here.
All right.
Hang on, let me zoom in on Chris.
Shaking it up.
Now hold on. Hold on a second because it still froze.
Oh.
Wow.
God damn it.
Technical difficulty. Thank God we're taped.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
All right. Shake it up. Let's see what will you be chugging?
All right. So I put a few things. I put some, clearly Canadian because we gotta support our country now.
That's right.
Canadian patriotism is an all-time high since I don't know, 2001.
Wow.
I guess. But let's see. I lucked out here, so I believe we have. Yes, good old water because
Oh, you got
fuck
off
it.
easy.
I got off easy. This is round one, so who knows? I could it could be a lot worse.
We still got
But,
2 more of these to go.
That's true. So I gotta like chug this whole thing down.
All right, here you go. Chug, 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 chug. Hey!
Oh, I'm gonna be
All
pissing
right.
that out in 15 minutes. So,
How would you rate that experience?
oh, that's a 12 out of 10. That's easy.
Oh, well.
It's water, man. Please.
Chugging water. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going
I
to be
love
honest.
it is round one, so we'll see. I do have some other things lined up here. The Curly Canadian wouldn't be a bad one to chug. So
No, but you'll have a loud burp at the end from the
that
sparkling.
too. What else do I have? Oh, I have a Corona here. It's because it's Mexican beer, but it's made in Quebec, so close enough.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah. All right, I'm going to make a little confession too, real quick. Water is in my list too.
I think it should be at everyone's list. You need that shit to survive, man.
Yeah. Let's see what I get. I'm going to draw mine real quick. Let's see. And we got, ooh, sweet tea.
Ooh.
A Southern man's favorite beverage. Sweet tea.
You call it sweet, we call it iced. So
Yeah. So let's see. Come on. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get waterfall because I think that'll be easy for sweet tea. Let's see what we get.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
You got the Steve-O special.
You fucking kidding on the first goddamn try.
Oh my god, just your luck, man.
Oh, god damn it. Okay. You know what? God damn it. Okay. I'm going to do it. First off, I do have some sweet tea right here.
Damn.
I can't believe I'm going to do this on the fucking podcast. But here we go. I did prepare in case it was me because I wasn't willing to put my beer bong up there. So what I did was I drilled a little hole here in the bottom of the pump that I used to pump up my bike with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my glass of sweet tea. Get some in there, and I got to flip it upside down. Oh shit, it's dripping a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to put the tube, you know where.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to press down on this real quick and hope for the best. So
hope for the best, pray for the worst, baby. That's all you can do.
I'm going to lean this up right over here against the wall real quick. God damn it. Oh shit, I almost spilled it.
Oh.
Okay, I got that leaned up. So let's see how are we gonna accomplish this. I'm gonna take the camera.
Enter the booty hole.
Oh god, we're gonna have to blur this.
Here we go. This would be the first thing for our OnlyFans.
The butt chug. All
Butt
right,
chug. Pay us $50. We'll do it. We'll consider it, maybe.
I'm about to do it for free right now. Okay. So,
or if you sub to Patreon, you're gonna get this uncut anyways.
can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. I can still hear you.
Well, I guess I should turn around. All right.
Spring break.
Well, here we go. I guess this is for state.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Yeah! Hey, you want a taste of our new album, Dr. Feelgood, before it's out in the stores?
Yeah!
Enter the crew contest.
Yeah!
If you have a touch-tone phone, call us on the Motley Crew hotline. 1-900-932-8-CREW.
Yeah!
You could win a personal autograph picture from us.
Or a personal phone call to your home.
Yeah!
While supporting the Make a Difference Foundation.
That's 1-900-932-8-CREW.
Yeah!
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
You know the law here, Lydia.
Well, I'm not just wearing this badge to see the light bounce off it. And I'm not carrying this Winchester to keep my arms from getting short. Drop that gun belt. Start walking, mister.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know why I'm under arrest, but it certainly is a welcome change.
Leave it alone. I'll bring it. In case you're interested, the Citizens Committee voted last night to have you and your hoodlum gang run out of town.
It's going to take a lot more than votes to do that. There's not one fighting man in the whole bunch.
Maybe that's been changed. Straight to the jail, Mr. Slade. My father, Marshal Prescott.
How do you do, sir?
Daddy got a bullet in the leg trying to interfere with Mort Phillips.
Was that when he made you a deputy? Don't blame that on me. She pinned that badge on herself.
It was partly a bluff, but we knew that Mort Phillips would have Billy Rigg gun you down. And we needed you.
We?
The Citizens Committee. We had to organize to try and stop Mort Phillips and his gang.
It's still a vigilante movement and outside the law.
So's Mort Phillips outside the law. We're only fighting fire with fire.
Would somebody please tell me what's going on around here?
We want you to investigate Mort Phillips.
What's there to investigate? Nothing but an ex-gunslinger with a prison record. And a grudge against the world.
You know why Mort Phillips came to Grover's Bend in the first place, Mr. Slade?
Oh, I don't.
This town was founded by a man named Benjamin Harris. He was a very kind and generous man who built up this community. When he died, he gave his property to those who helped build this town. Joshua Tanner, for instance. Josh's general store is on land that originally belonged to Ben Harris.
Not only me, Mr. Slade. Half the folks here are on land that once was Ben's.
Then, 2 months ago, Mort Phillips came to town claiming that his real name was James Harris, that he was the brother of Ben.
Did he have any proof?
Some old letters, correspondence between Ben Harris and his brother, dated many years prior to Ben's death.
Phillips claims them letters give him title to the property.
That sounds like a decision for a court to make.
Mort Phillips won't wait for a court decision. He says he knows he's within his rights in taking over the property.
With the help of a gang and a gunslinger, huh?
Exactly.
That sounds to me like Mort Phillips is afraid that the courts won't see things his way.
Mr. Slade, when we heard that you were on your way here, the committee voted funds. 500 now and 500 after the job is done.
But what happens if Mort Phillips turns out to really be Jim Harris?
We're willing to take that chance.
I'm willing to take the job. You may not be here to collect the other 5, Mr. Slade. What about Billy Rigg? I'll take care of Billy Rigg. Without a gun. Any investigation starts with all the information you can get. And information is where you find it. Most people in Grover's Bend were willing to talk about the late Ben Harris. But when the subject got around to Mort Phillips and his claim that he was Ben's long-lost brother, some of the less courageous wouldn't say a word. Some information would have to be dug up a long way from Grover's Bend. But thanks to a New England inventor named Samuel Morse, this was going to be possible. Billy.
Waco tells me that Slade's going all over town asking questions.
Maybe it's time he got something besides answers.
He's not backing a gun. Would that make any difference? You never shot down an unarmed man, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, no, of course not. Maybe it's time that we taught Mr. Slade it'd be a good idea to carry a gun sometimes, huh?
Mr. Slade.
I want to thank you for your part in helping arrest me this morning.
The credit all goes to Lydia Prescott for that. Down.
Thanks.
Now, there's a woman who would make a great newspaper man. What can I do for you, Mr. Slade?
I wonder if you could tell me, who knew Ben Harris's brother James?
Nobody.
You mean he never existed?
No, I don't mean that, Mr. Slade. When Ben Harris settled here, his brother James was in the East somewhere. I knew Ben had a brother. He had me witness a legal document once. It had to do with the sale of some property in St. Louis, and James's signature was on it. I got the impression at the time that James was a sort of a black sheep of the family.
Are there any examples of James Harris's signature available now?
Oh, yes. I was executor of the Harris estate. And there's several letters from James Harris among Ben's effects.
Has any attempt been made to compare them with samples of Mort Phillips' handwriting?
What handwriting? Mr. Phillips has conveniently traded his right hand for a hook.
Yes. Well, thanks very much for your help, sir. Oh, by the way, is there any chance of my seeing copies of the James Harris's letters?
Well, they're in the safety deposit box at the bank. Be glad to show them to you anytime.
I'll know by this time tomorrow. That'll be necessary. He's sure been out a long time.
I'm worried, Daddy.
You're doing just fine, ma'am. Don't worry.
You've been playing possum.
Oh, no, ma'am. Possum wouldn't get treatment like this. Oh!
Serves you right for scaring me half to death.
Hey, what time is it?
It's almost 5 o'clock. Mr. Slade, we have no right to ask you to get mixed up in all of this.
You have every right to. It's my business. It's the way I make my living.
All the money in the world's not worth getting killed for.
It's sure nice to know that somebody cares. Thanks. Lydia.
Keep the 500. Leave town tonight. I'll explain it to the committee. Nobody to blame you.
You're not suggesting that I run out on Billy Rigg, are you?
I don't want him to kill you.
Supposing I kill him, Lydia.
No, you couldn't. I mean, he's too fast a gun, and nobody could stand up against him.
You know, it just came to me that you might have had another reason for stopping that shootout this morning.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at me. Don't you know? If it's humanly possible, Lydia, I promise you, I'll try not to kill him. Put your hands up, Billy boy, and don't turn around.
What's your game, Slade?
I don't play games, son. I work. And right now, you're part of my job. Well, nice balance here. And what do you know? No notches. What's the matter, boy? Haven't you been earning your keep? Or hasn't Mort Phillips asked you to gun down anybody else but me yet?
Get to the point. What do you want?
All right. How long have you known Mort? 1, 5, 10 years?
I've known him long before you framed him for that holdup and got him sent to jail. But you were scared of him, Slade. That's why you ruined his hand.
You must have been just a kid then. I can see how a gunslinger like Mort Phillips could make quite an impression on a kid.
He saved my life.
That's what I've heard.
Maybe that don't mean anything to you, Slade. But Mort Phillips gunned down a wild, drunken bullwhacker who was beat me to a pulp with his whip.
Yes, and I can see how you could be very grateful for that. But tell me something. Was killing that wild, drunken bullwhacker the only way you could have stopped him?
No use running Mort Phillips down, Slade. I know him, and I know you.
Now listen. Supposing I can prove to you that Mort Phillips is a phony. A yellow-bellied coward that hasn't got the nerve to shoot an old lady, even in the back.
You're the one who's lost his nerve, Slade. You're crawling to get out of a gunfight you got no stomach for.
You're right about that last part. I sure got no stomach for it. But listen, do you really believe that Lydia Prescott and the good citizens of this town are trying to cheat Mort Phillips out of something that belongs to him?
Of course they are. This whole town practically stole that property from Mort's brother.
Now, supposing I can prove to you that the real Jim Harris died 6 years ago with one of Mort's bullets in him.
Mort wouldn't lie to me. If he says he's Jim Harris, that's good enough for me.
You're in for some shocks and surprises, Billy boy. Shocks and surprises. Incidentally, does Mort know you're seeing Lydia Prescott on the sly?
Did she tell you that?
Not in so many words. Watch out for her, Billy. A woman like that can take the teeth out of a gunfighter. Any of them. Here. Don't use that unless you've thought about it for a long time. Easy does it, boys. I'm unarmed. Tell your men to get out, Mort. I want to talk with you.
All right, man. What makes you so sure you're not asking for another beating?
No, Mort. Only as the last resort. I got you figured out.
So?
So seeing Billy Rigg gun me down means more to you than all the loot you could take out of Grover's Bend?
Next best thing to killing you myself.
That's why I don't think you're going to have one of your muscle-brained men shoot me when I'm not looking.
You shoot it out with Billy Rigg, I don't think you won't catch a bullet in the back. Might not be as much fun, but you'll be dead just the same.
You know, I'm going to blow the whistle on all your phony claims to this town, Mort.
I'm not worried.
Jim Harris was killed in a train holdup. Among his personal effects was a case containing some legal documents and some correspondence.
You've found out quite a lot already, haven't you?
That's right. And by tomorrow afternoon, I hope to find out whether or not you were among the gang that held up that train.
By tomorrow afternoon, you'll be dead. One way or another.
I'll up the ante, Mort. Let's make it 12 noon. Now, you tell Billy Rigg I'll be waiting for him outside that telegraph office. And tell him this time I won't let anything interfere.
I'll tell him.
By mid-morning next day, the whole town seemed to know about my date with Billy Rigg at high noon. There was one person in Grover's Bend that the news upset more than anyone.
Lydia.
Is it true?
Lydia, it's gonna be all right. I can't lose.
You can't lose. What happens to you after you've killed Slade? You mustn't go through with it, Billy.
I have to. You don't understand. It's a point of honor. I owe this to Mort Phillips.
You owe him nothing. What about yourself? Us?
It won't change anything. Why does it have to?
Because you'll have killed a man. A man whom you have nothing against personally. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
It does when I think about it. But then, I remember what that man did to Mort Phillips, and it makes it easy.
For the last time, Billy.
I'm sorry, Lydia.
And for your sake, I hope Slade is faster.
By 10 minutes to 12, Grover's Bend was beginning to feel like a bomb about to explode. Word must have even reached out of town. For about an hour, rioters from the outlying ranches were beginning to show up. If I'd gone to the telegraph office once that morning, I'd been there a dozen times. But the one bit of information I was counting on to blow this thing wide open had still not arrived.
Slade!
Now, take it easy, Lydia. Hang on to yourself. Nothing's happened yet.
He'll be here any minute now. It's almost noon.
Whatever happens, don't you try to stop it, do you hear? At 1 minute before 12, Mort Phillips came out to see the show. He wanted to make sure he had a grandstand seat. Seconds later, Billy Rigg walked out of the hotel into the middle of the street. Billy had it so firmly entrenched in his mind that he was Mort Phillips' right hand and duty-bound to settle a score for Phillips that nothing short of a miracle would stop him now. The miracle came, and it came in the form of the message I've been waiting for. A message brought by thin strands of wire across 1,000 miles of wilderness. Just words, but they saved Billy Rigg from himself. Mr. Eckhart?
Well, I'll be...
Show it to Billy Rigg.
Yeah. Billy, this is something you've got to see yourself.
It's some kind of a trick. I don't believe it. This isn't true.
Supposing we find out, Billy.
Mr. Phillips, Slade's had some kind of message sent to him. Supposed to be from the prison where you were.
I reckon he's just showing his color again, Billy. Anything to keep from getting what's coming to you, eh, Slade?
It says you never had any operation while you were in prison. That when you left there, you had both hands.
Both of them, huh? What do you call this, Slade? Does that look like a hand to you?
It looks like a hook strapped over a hand to me, Mort. Just what I thought. He only had one practical reason for this hook, Billy. It kept him from having to duplicate Jim Harris's handwriting, but he had another reason, a real one. When Mort Phillips left prison, he had all the cynical hatred of a killer. But he just lost his nerve.
Billy. Billy, come back.
I don't think you'll have any more trouble with Phillips, Mr. Eckhart. I guess you won't have to pretend anymore, Phillips. Let's go.
Coming to us out of the sky, the familiar voice of radio brings endless hours of entertainment, information, and cheer. In every home, its magic moments are an indispensable part of daily life. The setting of one dial brings music. Another, the morning's news bulletins. A housewife turns to shopping hints. Another makes notes of a new recipe. A man gets the day's market trends or latest sports reports. Or a shut-in smiles and relaxes to that morning word of cheer. Behind the scenes, a vast and skilled organization and intricate technical apparatus produce the miracle of words and music coming to us through the air. But the entertaining hours of radio have not been with us always. Back in 1920, in a dimly lighted room over his garage, Dr. Frank Conrad built and operated the first experimental broadcasting transmitter. Here, radio broadcasting was born. This brilliant Westinghouse scientist had no intention of going into the broadcasting business as he sent phonograph music over the air. He was working on the wireless telephone. But these first whispers of the voice of radio were not unheard as they were broadcast by Dr. Conrad. A surprising number of letters were received from unsuspected listeners, also pioneers, who had improvised primitive crystal sets. The world's first radio audience was in the making.
I can't understand what that boy does with all his time, fooling with wires and that silly thing on his head.
Mom, Dad, come quick. Dad, quick, listen, there's music on the air.
Well, if that don't beat the... Any idea where it's coming from, son?
From Wilkinsburg, just outside of Pittsburgh. A Westinghouse engineer by the name of Conrad is sending it. Isn't it swell? Boy, will I have something to tell the fellas tomorrow.
Encouraged by the interest which his experiments had awakened among his unseen audience, Dr. Conrad expanded his work in the little laboratory over the garage. One night in the basement of a Pittsburgh department store, a clerk was listening.
More people knew about these programs. Perhaps there'd be more wireless parts sold. That's an idea.
The result of that idea was the first newspaper advertisement to promote the sale of wireless parts. And from that advertisement, one man caught a vision. That man was H.P. Davis, Vice President of Westinghouse, soon to be known as the father of radio broadcasting.
Then we are agreed, gentlemen.
that the possibilities of wireless go far beyond its use in private communication. That we will establish a system of mass communication with regular programs in the public interest, news, weather reports, music, speeches, all manner of entertainment we will send over the air. We will establish a great new public institution. We'll call it broadcasting.
A bold and pioneering decision that was, and the result was immediate action. In less than 1 month, radio station KDKA was on the air, bringing to a few hundred people, practically all of whom had built their own receiving sets, the world's first scheduled broadcast.
We are bringing you early election returns. North Atlantic states give a substantial lead to Warren Harding over James Cox.
Almost overnight, radio graduated from a hobby to a national institution. Receivers with tubes began to replace the homemade crystal sets. And when there weren't enough earphones to go around, Mother's mixing bowl came in handy as a loudspeaker. Yes, regular programs did create a widespread desire for radio sets. So much so, in fact, that manufacturers couldn't meet demands. People began to expect interesting programs on the air. Radio broadcasting became an industry which kept pace with the trend of the times. Westinghouse pioneered this growth of radio, beginning with the first broadcasting station, KDKA. As more service through radio became practical, Westinghouse added other stations. WBZ Boston, KYW Philadelphia, WBZA Springfield, WOWO Fort Wayne, KEX Portland, WBOS International Shortwave Station at Boston. Broadcasting swept the country until by the middle 20s, over 500 stations crowded the radio map. Everywhere, the voice of radio began to fill the air. In the city, on the farm, in school, country stores, city workshops and offices, and even automobiles, bringing entertainment, news and culture to all who cared to listen. In the early days of broadcasting, few people realized what a fine art radio was to become, or what an influence it was destined to wield upon mankind. With the inception of broadcasting as an industry, the enormous cost of keeping entertaining and informative programs on the air presented a problem, for there was no income. Then one day, someone realized that radio had great value as an advertising medium. Station operators learned they could sell time on the air to commercial companies, who in turn sponsored fine programs of various kinds to advertise their products to those who listened. Business turned to radio because people listened and bought, little things and big things, all the things people need and need to know about before they buy. Increased sales also brought lower prices, along with more work and more wages. Thus, the service of radio to our economic life was developed. Today, there are more than 1,000 radio stations broadcasting in the same ether. But there are only a limited number of frequencies or pathways through the air to carry all these programs. To keep them from interfering with each other, the government groups all radio stations into certain classifications. Programs continually on the air requires a complex structure and skilled organization. The average station broadcasts about 19 hours each day, from before dawn until after midnight. And every minute of that time, there must be some program going out to the unseen audience. Dramatic and variety programs must be created or adapted to radio. For these programs, performers must be carefully selected, and the programs rehearsed over and over. The dialogue must be smooth, the pace right, dramatic peaks or laughs properly spaced, and the whole thing timed to the split second, for there's no second chance in radio. Special or arranged music has to be rehearsed, timed and fitted to the theme and action of each dramatic or variety program. Sound effects also play an important role in radio and are worked out to convey a sense of realism to the listening audience. Let's see how this is done. Say, Mr. Soundman, how would you get a big crowd into the studio in a hurry? Oh, that's too easy. Now, how about those sinister footsteps we always hear when the radio villain comes to do his dastardly deed? Oh, that gives me the chills. Have you got a good storm up your sleeve to go with it? What a night for a murder. Better get the hero indoors. Well, get going. Now, how about a nice crackling fire in the fireplace? Wonder if that villain is still out on the stairs. We'd better call in some help. Well, we didn't need all those policemen. Oh, I get it. But suppose we'd rather have the Lone Ranger come galloping to the rescue. How would you get him on the job? Say, you sound effects men are a bunch of fakers. But wait a minute. Supposing the story calls for the sound of breaking glass. What would you do about that? Well, well, stumped you at last. You can imitate storms and galloping horses, but you can't imitate a simple sound like, hey, look out. Well, I asked for it. Putting a studio program on the air requires perfect coordination of actors, production staff, and studio technicians. A switch is flipped, a dial is turned, and on the exact second, the show is on the air. During rehearsals, this show was tailored and trimmed to fit exactly within the allotted time. And it's up to the production staff to see that this schedule is maintained. And you, the audience, for whom this show was written, rehearsed, and broadcast, will vote for or against it by tuning the program in or switching it off. While some programs may require weeks of preparations, others must be prepared in a matter of seconds. In rooms like this, news pours in from the far reaches of the globe. Over great worldwide news services come bulletins, flashes, follow-up stories from everywhere. News that is carefully edited to bulletin form so that it reaches its audience quickly and concisely. Here is a new form of journalism that radio itself has created. History in the making, brought to the ears of a nation in the shortest possible time. The ringing bell heralds an important news flash. If it is important enough, the regular program will be interrupted.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin from the Emergency Flood Control Headquarters. Flood waters have reached a new high in the southern area. All families are advised...
Thus, the radio listener is never more than a few seconds removed from the news as it happens. Service such as this is only a part of radio station activity. Network programs may originate in New York, Pittsburgh, Hollywood, or anywhere. Or they may be on-the-spot broadcasts where great events are in the making. Such programs are received over special wires and are handled at this master control desk, which is the nerve center of the radio station. To put any radio program on the air requires far more than just the familiar microphone. Suppose we step behind the scenes and see just how this is done. The microphone responds to the vibrations of sound waves that strike it, converting those vibrations into similar vibrations of electrical energy called an audio wave. This wave travels over wires to the studio control room, where, if we could see it, it might look something like this. Not yet strong enough to do its job, it is amplified or strengthened until it is this size. But it still has a long way to go before reaching your home radio. So let's follow this wave on its amazing journey. Leaving the studio building, it travels perhaps many miles over wires that are specially designed so that none of its tone frequencies or vibrations will be lost, though some of its power will be gone when it finally reaches the transmitting station, which is generally located away from the city, where there are better transmitting conditions and ample space for the towering antenna. Now let's get back to our audio wave. It has just arrived from the studio and gets a re-strengthening until it looks something like this. Then, moving along to another amplifier, it passes through and comes out like this. Once more amplified, it is now powerful enough, but it is not the right kind of wave to travel over the air. So, over here, in what is known as a crystal oscillator, another wave is generated. A high-speed wave having millions of vibrations per second. It would look something like this if we could see it. This wave, however, also must be strengthened. So on it goes into other amplifiers, where it comes out a strong, far-reaching carrier wave capable of transporting a program round the world in 1/7 of a second. This wave is ready for the air except for one thing. It has no program on it. You wouldn't hear anything if we were to broadcast just a plain carrier wave. So we go back and pick up the audio wave that we left a moment ago, and we use this to control the strength of the carrier wave. We are now modulating the carrier waves. The combination looks something like this. It is now a complete radio wave. And through these wires, it goes to the antenna tower. Up, up, up to where it is hurled out into space with the speed of light. Now our program actually is on the air. When you tune your radio to the same frequency as the transmitter's carrier wave, your loudspeaker will give a true reproduction of the studio program. And today, on radio's elaborate bill of fare, there are programs to fit every desire and need. The inspiration of religious services, once found by church walls. Great opera and music, once the privilege of only the fortunate few. The progress of science, once revealed only to the limited memberships of technical society. Championship sports. Great events that shape the course of history as they happen. The whole panorama of life and the world today presented for the enlightenment and pleasure of everyone. Yes, the history of radio is brilliant. And new patterns of service, many of them born of wartime research, are in the making. Your new home receiver, with its new developments and improvements, is your link with radio broadcasting. The finest in entertainment, news, and culture. The best the world can provide. Television, the miracle of broadcasting both voice and picture through the air, is assured. In research and planning departments, many new creations of radio are being made ready for the benefit of the vast radio audience. Because of the peculiar characteristics of the high-frequency waves which carry television and FM, their range of broadcast is limited to visual distance only. To procure broader coverage, it is necessary to locate such stations at the highest possible location. To carry these new type programs for long distances and to approach the coverage now available through standard broadcasts, it is necessary to install many relay or booster stations also located at high locations. Such multiple relay, however, presents distortion problems and losses. As a great contribution to the faithful reception of these services, Westinghouse engineers have developed a system for broadcasting frequency modulation and television called Stratovision. This provides for several large airborne broadcast stations flying at a height of 6 miles above the Earth. By this system, each plane would be equipped with several television and frequency modulation broadcasting transmitters, providing for greater and more faithful reproduction. A number of these Stratovision planes will bring the finest of television and FM programs to the vast majority of America. Yes, radio broadcasting has come a long way since the days of Dr. Conrad. As each radio day brings information, entertainment, and education into your home, science continues to reach into the future, planning and developing new services that will make your home the center of the universe, so that the whole wide world of pictures, colors, and sounds will be as close to you as your radio.
Goddamn son.
If you're still watching right now, come back tomorrow and we'll have an actual episode here. April Fools. Hope you enjoyed that Guns and Radio double feature.
Hell yeah, that's the greatest double feature I've ever seen, man. Play that shit at your local drive-in.
Gonna shoot sweet tea up my ass. Come on.